Does a practice of strategy exist that is constant and continuous throughout time?
No, I don't think it does. I think what we understand by strategy changes over time. Our understanding of strategy today is much broader than it was probably 50 years ago. And 19th century understandings of strategy will be much more limited to the purely military sphere. And of course the circumstances in which we apply it change too. So I think, as a historian, I'd be bound to say that there is change over time, and therefore understandings of strategy change too.
How can the operational aspects of warfare be better connected to the development of defense policy?
Well, the operational aspects of war in some ways capture what strategy used to be understood to be, because that is essentially the realm of the general, of the professional soldier. The challenge here is, how do you link what the general, the professional soldier, does to the political context, particularly in democracies? How do you link ways and means with ends? And broadly speaking, we've not been very good at that. And I think we've not been very good at it because we have developed a system of civil-military relations which essentially says the politician knows best, when there actually needs to be a more effective dialogue between the two, and where generals need to be able to say what they think the operational level can deliver. And because we have had a tendency, perhaps on both sides, not just on the politician side, but also perhaps on the side of the generals, to overstate what they think they can achieve. Counterinsurgency doctrines have failed in some respects to deliver all the things they said they could deliver. I mean, they're trying to deliver stability, development, and all sorts of extraordinarily ambitious goals. But at the same time, politicians have hyped war and put it into contexts that we associate more readily with the Second World War than with the sorts of conflicts that we encounter today.
How can nations measure the success of their strategies?
Well, the ultimate success of any strategy is, do you win a war? That if strategy's ultimate payoff, and my understanding of strategy would be to confine it pretty closely to its relationship to war, then success is to be measured in the result the war produces. Much harder, of course, when we have got used to applying strategy in a deterrent context, or in situations short of war, because very often you're trying to prove a negative rather than a positive. And there, we might say, of course, particularly in relation to deterrence, it was extraordinarily successful. The Cold War became hot in some areas for some periods of time, but did not become the major conflict that people might have anticipated. And it might be, and I would say it possibly is, one of the reasons that actually the world is more harmonious today and has fewer wars going on, for all our anxieties about security, that we have got a strategy that is underpinned by deterrence and does result in people being sufficiently fearful of war that they're not prepared to risk it. And that might be a sign of success.